You're going to have kids coming into schools who haven't been there in 5 or 6 months.
And I'm curious, though, about, since you cover education, what you might have been hearing about kind of the long-term effects, whether there is people who are worried about learning outcomes, about people falling behind in their education because of this sudden change and this environment. Of course, distance learning is nothing new, but suddenly have everyone do it, and those students who might not have been prepared to do it, are they worried about some of the long-term effects on their educational outcomes?
I think that's a real worry, and I think that's something that's really hard to measure. Assuming that the schools can reopen in August and September and go back to normal, you're going to have kids coming into schools who haven't been there in 5 or 6 months. What kind of retention will those students have? What kind of catch-up will the schools have to play with those students? You also have to look long-term at how does this affect the demographic gaps that we already see in education, not just in Idaho, all over the country. The demographic gaps, when you think about students who are in lower income households, students who maybe are a single parent household, English language learners, special needs students, so all of those demographic gaps that we know exist in schools, I wonder if that's all going to widen, if that's going to be an even, more pronounced gap when students do go back to school in the fall. I mean, I think this has long-term implications, and we're just barely getting a sense of the short-term implications right now. I think education scholars will spend the next 20 to 25 years studying what happened this spring and how it affected students from here and beyond. I mean, it's a project for scholars, and it's a project for education journalists.
You can see more of Kevin's reporting on these and other topics at idahoednews.org. And for more Northwest news, you can come to our website, nwpb.org. Thank you for joining us here in the unique Northwest.